everyone. After I turn my mic on, I will call our regular meeting of December 16th to order. If everybody could please stand, I'm going to ask Councilman Getterman to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you very much. We will actually move a little quickly tonight. We have no presentations, no public hearings, so we can move right to item 3, minutes of the previous meeting. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Councilwoman Christopher.
motion to approve the minutes of the December 2nd, 2024 regular meeting and the December 6th, 2024 special meeting.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any comments, questions, any changes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 4, announcements and reports. Are there any announcements or reports this evening?
Mr. Chair?
Councilwoman
No,
Moranti.
last week I actually attended 3 meetings to the groups to which I'm the liaison, so it was kind of a busy week. It was Conservation Commission, and just a couple of highlights from each, but at the Conservation Commission, they are looking forward to the new signage for Paderewski Pond, and hopefully it'll help address some of the issues there. Vice Chair Jeff Sepko is kind of the person that's the contact for the Tomaso Nature Park, reported on that, and just a reminder that it's now closed for the season and will be until March 15th when it reopens to the public. Committee on Aging, they're planning, a big celebration for the 50th anniversary of our senior center. They had a very successful Thanksgiving dinner and will be having the dinner at Christmas too, and I still find it incredible how many years that our senior center has provided that for our folks. Talked about budget planning, particularly some different options that they may be looking at for dial-a-ride vehicles. And Library Board of Trustees, Rob Buden, our finance director, actually was a guest. They had invited him to talk about how the various library funds work from the town finance perspective. And it was a very informative discussion, and I think the trustees were very appreciative of Rob being there and really letting them understand how these things work. And detailed reports from each of the departments, which is something they began doing about a year ago. And very informative, a lot of things happening in the library. And as you know, the process of hiring an assistant director is underway and maybe, hopefully will be coming to fruition soon.
Yes.
And that's it.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else with any other announcements or reports? Okay, we will can actually move right to report of the town attorney. Good evening, Mr. Town Attorney. Do you have anything to report this evening?
I actually do, Mr. Chair. First of all, I want to say that it's been a year since I was appointed town attorney, and I've enjoyed my first year here at Plainville, and everyone's made me feel very welcome. All the staff and department people have been very cooperative and responsive in our representation, and I'm very pleased with how things have gone so far. And hopefully you all agree. And then I did want to mention from the last time that we were here that we did get a report regarding the volunteer fire department. And there had been some questions with regard to when the report would be released. There have been some Freedom of Information requests for it, and I wanted to address that a little bit just so that we could let the public know where we are with regard to that. And one of the things I wanted to do was we are going to be releasing a redacted version of a report. And I wanted to just read part of the report to get the public the general sense of why this has been sort of a long process of going through it and reviewing it and deciding the course of action. And so the report at the very beginning, and I'm just going to quote from it because it really gives you the flavor of it. It's much easier than trying to paraphrase it. As this report will articulate in detail an increasing level of division and personal animosity between various members, and they're talking about the fire company, has plagued the Plainville Fire Company and the department for approximately the past 15 to 20 years or more. Multiple complaints have been made about the department's management actions, which have ranged from selective treatment and favoritism to abusive conduct. Multiple complaints have been made against certain department members based on their alleged conduct intended solely to undermine the efforts of the department's management and to foster division among the membership. I read that so that you would have a sense as to the type of an investigation that was done and the information that was received and why it was not immediately released to the public, because there is a need to take and decide how to respond to this type of information. That is going to be released, what I just read to you, so there's no secret there as to what the scope of the issues were here. I just wanted to let the public know that of what had been done, and that we are, from what I understand, that the council is going to be considering some steps with regard to this. And there's going to be, some of the things that I understand that we're going to be looking at is take a look at our current charter, ordinances, regulations with regard to the fire company and in general to make them consistent and to give us more central, clear, defined lines of authority. And we're also considering trying to take and have a neutral party come in to try to diffuse some of the things that I just read to you in that one little paragraph so that we can all move forward together to the extent that that's something that can be done. So, and then there's some other things too, but I leave it to you. I just wanted to just generally talk about why we've been going through this and why it's taken so long to make any kind of public comment. As you can tell from just reading that paragraph that this is going to be released, that there are outstanding issues. And because of that, I'm not comfortable releasing everything that we were provided, because to the extent that there's potential claims, then we want to make sure that those are handled appropriately and not in public generally until they're resolved. So that's why we are where we are. I did want to make a statement as the attorney here, because I'm very careful about what I'm saying. And as we've talked about what I feel that we should be making public. And I just wanted to, make that announcement after the last meeting that we had. So that's basically all I have, other than to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. But I will say, are there any questions?
Any questions, any follow-up?
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, happy everything to everybody, whatever it is that you celebrate. Thank you very much.
All right. Since that takes care of the town attorney report, we're up to item 8, report of the town manager. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Good evening,
Good
everyone. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will start with item 1, which is just a report on additional trash recycling container fee we're reviewing for the council's consideration. And I think you recall a previous meeting, we talked about the expenses related to purchasing the inventory for those. So this is an attempt to take a look at and bring to your attention the fact that we have not looked at this fee in quite some time. So it is, again, for additional bins. The extra refuse recycling container yearly rental fee will be due in approximately 1 month, and that's why we're reviewing it. At this time, the Technical Services Department requests consideration of whether the fee should be adjusted to reflect inflation. The current fees are $100 for an extra refuse container, and we currently charge nothing for the extra recycling container. And these fees were last reviewed in 2011. Over the past 14 years, the cost of containers has risen from approximately $50 to $71, and the disposal costs have risen for refuse from approximately $50 per ton to approximately $70 per ton. The cost of disposing recycled materials has flipped from what used to be a revenue source and now is a cost, a disposal cost, roughly approximately $81 a ton. So it's recommended that the yearly rental fee for the refuse container be increased from $100 to $135 per year, and a recycling container rental fee be established at $50. I think my notes incorrectly said $75, but I think the recommendation would be $50, and I think that's how we prepared the motion. So there is an item under new business for your consideration, and obviously it is the council's prerogative to adjust that. These are recommendations, so if you felt the $35 increase was too much, you can certainly make an adjustment. And again, they're recommendations, and of course, on the same on the recycling side, where there's actually currently no fee attached to that. So there's an item under new business for that. Item number 2 is the middle school project update, and the Renovate Like New project is moving along. The architectural firm KBA has been meeting with staff from the town and the school side to review the educational specifications. KBA attended a walkthrough of the middle school on Tuesday, December 10th to gather input from the administrative team. They were able to collect, I think, a deeper understanding of the structural layout and obstacles to learning. So I think it was very helpful from a visual sense, from being on site to take something that's on a piece of paper in the recommendation, and to have the principal and administrative staff point out these specific comments, that they now have a visual understanding of what's happening within the school and the educational components. So the next step is underway, and that is the preparation of an RFQ/P for a construction manager at risk, which hopefully will be completed this month, and we'll have that. Item 3 is about the Christmas tree collection, and just wanted to get some information out on that. Through the holiday season, residents may dispose of their Christmas tree at no cost at the transfer station, or allow roadways department to collect them curbside. Trees may be disposed of at the transfer station located at the end of Granger Lane, beginning Thursday, December 26th through the end of January. Trees should be placed in the designated collection bin outside the transfer station gate. Decorations must be removed from the trees, and trees should be removed from any bag they are transported in. Residents can dispose of the bag in regular household trash. Starting January 2nd, the roadway department will collect Christmas trees curbside. Residents are asked to leave their trees at the curb, not in the roadway. Trees must be free of decorations, snow and ice, and should not be blocking any sidewalk or walkway. Trees will be collected until the end of January. Believe this is also on our website for anyone that may have additional information, can give us a call. But that is an public service announcement on our Christmas tree collection. Item number 4 is the bid 2025-16 for the Plainville Fire Department Radios and Communications System Phase 1. The Plainville Fire Department seeks approval to begin Phase 1 of a multi-phase project to upgrade the department's radio system infrastructure. The existing system, installed in 1988, has exceeded its life expectancy with outdated components that are no longer supported by manufacturers. This project is critical to improving operability and ensuring firefighter safety. This upgrade will significantly improve in-building coverage for operations by enabling both transmit and receive capabilities at all sites. Transitioning to a dedicated dispatch channel with separate fire-ground frequencies will enhance firefighter safety by allowing incident operations to continue independently of dispatch traffic. Additionally, modernizing the dispatch console is necessary to prevent extended system outages due to outdated software. There are 5 parts to Phase 1 as follows. Part A is the replacement of the radio infrastructure, replacement of all antenna, coaxial cables, base station radios, an uninterruptible power supply, the UPS, at the fire department, Toflon School, and Lowe's home improvement site. Part B, a transition to the 800 megahertz dispatch paging. The VHF paging frequency will be eliminated, and dispatch paging will shift to the 800 megahertz channel, requiring the purchase of a new unication pagers for firefighters. Part C, addition of the fireground channels, 2 dedicated fireground channels will be added for incident operations, enhancing firefighter safety. Part D, the dispatch console replacement. This is the outdated dispatch console will be replaced to ensure reliability and compatibility with current operating systems. And finally, Part E, antenna and coaxial installation. New antennas and coaxial cables will be purchased and installed. And there is an item under new business to waive the competitive procurement process based on a sole source recommendation and award bid 2025-16 to the fire department radio system infrastructure upgrade to Northeastern Communications, Inc., DBA Norcom Connecticut of Naugatuck, Connecticut, in the amount of $485,448. And so that is my report for the first 4 items. I'll pause there before going on to financial dashboard to see if there are any questions on those 4 items.
Yeah, anyone with any questions so far? One with the garbage and recycling bins, and this is just for those who have requested an additional
extra one.
And do we have any idea, if it takes you a day or two to find out, but how many people have requested like an additional garbage can or an additional recycling bin? I'm just curious what that number is. I
don't know.
know there's a couple in my neighborhood, but I was just something that popped in my head this afternoon.
That I don't know. We'll get you an answer.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? All right. It's time for a financial dashboard.
Right. I'll try to make this as painless as possible and try not to bore you with too much detail. Right out of the gate, the financials look fine. There's nothing that registered in this month's. It is just chugging along. Starting with the expenditure side of the house, you'll see that expended through 11/30 is $32,814,062, and that is represents 45.58% of the budget, and the 2-year average is 46, so it's running under, and that's the total overall budget expenditure. That breaks down for the general government side, 52.07% expended, 2-year average is 53. On the Board of Education side, to date, 41.76% expended, the 2-year average is 42. So everything running right in line as expected. Next is the police dispatch overtime expenditures. Police overtime, a budget of $400,000. The actual is $244,409. The 2-year average is $229,000, so they're over by $14,518, and certainly that's I think a reflection of the fact that we have officers that are out, and we're looking to replace those. But there are a number of officers in the academy, I believe, as you know, 2 in there right now. Graduating soon, but we have a special meeting later this week on Thursday to appoint 2 more and get them started in January. So understandable, the chief is doing the best he can with the department and managing and scheduling with respect to overtime. On the roadway side, I'm sorry, I'll go back to the dispatch overtime. They have not spent anything there, so they have budgeted $20,000. That is untouched. Roadways expenditures for regular overtime, $85,895 budgeted. Actual spent $54,202. The 2-year average is $47,292. So they're over by almost $7,000, $6,910. Nothing expended on their snow OT, but again, given today's event and some others that may have happened earlier, that I think that those numbers will be reflected in the December report. This is as of November 30th, so expect that we'll see some numbers coming in on the snow overtime budget. Building and grounds, budget is 38,603. They've expended 38,939. Their two-year average is 25,389, so they're over by 13,550. On the hauling of solid waste and recycling, the solid waste is over by 54 tons, and the recycling is under by 52 tons. So I think an offset there, and I again said last time, I think there's a flip in terms of maybe less recycling going into solid municipal waste, but can't exactly know for sure, but that's the offset. On to the next page on revenues, look right on point. They couldn't be any closer, I think. You'll look at that. Revenue, total revenue received of $37,331,576. This represents a percentage received of 51.86. The two-year average is 51.88. Everything's right in line. Same with current revenue. On tax revenue, current tax revenue budget, $32,502,904, represents 59.78%, and the two-year average is 59.95%. So, again, everything running right in line with where we expect it to be. The next box is the general fund, unassigned fund balance, and very healthy at 15.8%. Should the entire 1.4 allocated allocation be spent, that would take us down to $9,950,721 for a 13.82% fund balance. So best case 15.8, worst case 13.82, but still very healthy. And again, I may take a side note, if I could, for a moment. Part of the discussion we had on Saturday is about our fiscal health and what the rating agencies look at, and this is obviously a critical factor in terms of fund balance, one of many, but fund balance and where we rank in terms of our percentages. So that is a healthy number, and sure we'll be doing what we can to maintain that number. On to special revenue funds. First is the recreation fund, and the expenditures are $152,854, represents 51.63%. Two-year average is 47.45. On the revenue side, they have received $64,560. 28.57% received over their under their two-year average of 34. And I will likely be meeting with Recreation Director to get more detail on why the gap. And again, COVID had a lot to do with it, but we're getting out of that, so we're seeing the numbers. And so I think we're going to try and get a deeper dive into getting more realistic numbers and expectations of where our budgets are going to be this coming season. So I'm tagging this one to look for additional detail. On to Robertson Airport, everything in line. Expenditures 184, revenues, significant revenues based on grants that have come in. So the total grant received through 11/30, $532,741 versus their expenditures $76,811. That's primarily due to their funding of the fencing project. Water pollution control is running right in line as we expect. Their expenditures of $3,233,316 represents a 65.07% on their two-year average of 61.13. Their revenue, $4,806,092, 108%. Versus 103% on the two-year average. So again, the timing of the year, that's where these numbers fluctuate like that. The same with on the library fund with an expenditure to date of $433,991, representing 53%, with a two-year average of 46. And on the revenue side, $427,952, but 53.16% received, two-year average 37. A lot had to do with their market gains in their investments, doing well. And that takes care of the special revenue funds. And last page is the major projects report, beginning with Honor Heights project. As I said before, that's wrapped up. Don't know that there's anything new to report on that, but I will circle back with the engineer just to see if there are any additional hookups. I'm not aware of any, but again, I'll check with him. It could be that'll just change the numbers a little bit, but very successful in terms of the percentage of members that hooked up there. PHS Turf's Maintenance Fund, nothing new to report on that. Those numbers have not changed. ARPA fund dollars, we've covered that in previous meeting. We have an allocation and a vote this evening on radios. Whiting Street reconstruction, that is complete for the season. Or I could say the work is complete for the season. The project is not, unfortunately. It's going to be rough there, rough patching through the winter. We will not get to this until the spring for the final pavement. We will be posting additional signs around to say, slow down, it's a little rough. Just trying to get through the winter without a lot of potholes and rough terrain there. The road bond project is also coming to the end of its cycle in the 5-year bond. So that is open for consideration of the town council going forward, and whether or not there'll be another phase, another round of funding. We're certainly recommending that because I think it's well received by residents within the community on a number of roads and streets that we're able to pave. So that rounds out the major projects report and the financial dashboard. Any questions?
All right, any questions? Just the ARPA monies, with what we do tonight, that will officially, we will have allocated everything we've needed to allocate before the end of the fiscal, or end of the calendar year.
Yeah, and if, again, we have that special meeting Thursday night, but I think that's a great point. We'll make sure that we're balanced to the penny there and are close to. And if there's anything that I'm not aware of, we'll
Handle Thursday night if we need
handle
to.
Thursday night if needed, but
Yep.
likely, not likely. I think we've allocated for everything, and we'll have everything hopefully under contract and obligated as the state requires.
Thank you. Are we ready for happenings?
I am ready to turn it over. I was ready to go this.
Yeah, that's what I looked there
Nice.
first.
Over here.
Over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Switching it up today.
And
Where's
take it
Waldo?
away.
Before we dive into happenings, just Mr. Chairman, to your question, my records show 112 waste containers, additional waste containers that are issued each year.
Okay,
I don't have the number for recycling.
that's fine. Thank you.
You're welcome. So for happenings, all I have to report on are senior center events. And for programs regarding the senior center, you can call at 860-747-5728. And all programs are free and open to the public unless otherwise indicated. Grandparents Raising Grandchildren is tomorrow, Tuesday, December 17th at 10:30 a.m. It's an opportunity to share resources, ideas, struggles, and joys with other individuals who are also raising their grandchildren. Plainville High School Chamber Choir will be at the Senior Center on Tuesday, December 17th at 3 p.m. The choir has been invited to sing a combination of traditional carols, classic holiday songs, and winter choral music. You can join for the concert with a reception to follow. If you'd like to attend, you can register at the Senior Center. The Tofflon School Christmas Concert will be at the Senior Center on Wednesday, December 18th at 11 a.m. Michaela's Seed Packing Day is Thursday, December 19th, from 9:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. The Pettit Family Foundation will be packing Michaela's 4 o'clock seed packets. Pizza will be served following the event, and you can sign up at the Senior Center. And finally, the Diabetes Support Group will be meeting on Monday, December 30th, from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the Senior Center. And that is all I have for happenings today.
All right, thank you very much. Any other questions for the town manager or assistant town manager before we move on? All right, thank you very much. We will move now to public comments. At this point in the meeting, anyone who wishes to address the council may do so. Please step forward to the podium, give your name and address. You'll have 3 minutes to make your comments. You will hear a ring when there's 30 seconds left, and the second ring means the 3 minutes has run out. Is there anyone who wishes to address the council this evening? Mr. Kislick.
John Kislick, 65 Forestville Avenue. Good evening, town councilors.
Good evening.
Maybe one day, if we get some more of that federal money, we can build a canopy over those back stairs so you don't have to close down every single winter. Now, I got a couple things in history. November of this year was 20 years since the voters approved the all-day budget vote. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And then in 2012, Charter Revision was reviewing stuff again. They wanted to give you guys $1,000 a year, but never got off the ground. So you're working for nothing.
That's
My main topic tonight is the balloon issue. I filed my Freedom of Information every year. Town manager gave me an excellent report this time, and I really appreciate it. It's detailed. What we had, buildings and grounds had 408 hours at $15,147. They had materials of $410. Roadways had 18 hours for $1,426.92. And the police had 399 and 3/4 hours for $32,056.99. There's an insurance fee to the town of $6,293. I received this report a little over 2 months ago. I just couldn't present it till now. At that time, the fire department had not paid their half of the $3,000. Maybe they already did. So anyway, the town's part of this is $52,187.41 that the taxpayers paid to have this function. So the other thing about it is it created a lot of traffic hazards. I had a hard time getting in and out of Nazos. And while I was in line, I watched 2 cars actually have to make U-turns on Route 10. It's just terrible the way I guess they blocked down Broad Street one way. It was just a big mess, really, really dangerous. And even where they pull into the high school, coming from Southington Way, I didn't see it, but I seen it in the past that it's backed up because they have such a short distance where they're collecting money for the buses. So maybe something could change on this or whatever. And that's about all I have. I like reporting on that for transparency, and I want to wish everybody on the council Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I'm really looking forward to next year.
well,
Thank
same
you.
to you. Thank you. All right, anyone else wish to address the council this evening? Yes, Ms. Loria.
Roberta Loria, 18 Perrin Road. I just wanted to first say thank you to everyone on the town council, as well as the Board of Education, and Andy, for putting together the meeting that we had on Saturday. I definitely have to concur with Councilwoman Morante regarding the fact that it was very informative, it was very helpful, it was very open. No question was not answered. Thank you very much to you, Mr. Paulus, and definitely you, Andy, despite the cheese, for having that. It was great, and I wish there was more folks available that had attended. And my only suggestion is maybe what should be considered next time is to have it taped. Because it has enough information in there that really is beneficial to the community. And I just have one other question, please, with your permission, is to our town manager, and that has to do with trash and recycling containers. Are there fees involved if your container gets broken over time, or what's involved in that? We've tried very hard to always, my husband is very OCD about taking care of the containers, and he was very upset when he brought it in one day a few weeks ago after we had that hard freeze and found a nice big crack in it. So this was a good reminder that I know I have to call somebody, but since you brought it up today, I thought I'd ask.
Yeah, no, that's a great question, and in most cases, I believe our building and grounds will try to repair in any
Oh,
way
good.
that they
Okay.
can. But if it's a cut or a seam thing, most times it's a wheel or a lid that I think we can normally try and repair and patch up. But beyond that, I don't know. I'll defer to Andy. I think there's I don't know if there's a restocking fee charge or not. We'll just issue another. Yeah. So there really no. We'll try to repair first, and if not, then
Okay.
then repair.
Thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
I appreciate the time. Thank
I
you.
appreciate you taking care of
Thank
them.
you.
They've lasted a long time, but
Yeah.
but again, out
Thank
in
my
the,
husband.
yeah, no, okay, but yeah, they out in the elements, they start to break down after a year. We get long life out of them, but
Yeah.
just they come to the end of a cycle.
All right, is there anyone else that wishes to address? Yes, Ms. Charette.
Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
Marilyn Charette, 18 Milford Street, Plainville. I just have a couple of quick things. The first one is that I'd like to know if you would consider, and I know I've talked about it before, about changing the time to at least 5 minutes. I really don't see the problem since I don't see an awful lot of people up here talking. And 2 minutes more really isn't going to break you. At least that's my opinion. Second, the trail. I would like to propose, and I did a long time ago, propose that you go down Northwest Drive to Route 10 and bring it down to Town Line Road. I feel as though going through town and in disrupting the town of Plainville in the manner that has been approached to the council, I think that it's really unfair to the taxpayers, making roads one way. We've had the surveyors out there for, a couple of years now, trying to figure out North Washington and South Washington, trying to mess up that intersection, which is terrible to begin with.
Yep.
I really think that, and I saw it in Southington, somebody commented that it would create traffic hazards because of driveways. Well, if you look in Southington and you see where the trail is, there's driveways and roadways that it goes through right along the whole way. So I don't really think that that would be an issue. And last but not least, I'm going to ask if you've given any consideration to giving a monthly report about the status of the town manager searching for property in Plainville.
I'll just say, I know you requested this last, or you made the suggestion. I have not thought about it since our last meeting.
Okay. Do you think you might think about it between now
I
and
can
the
think
new year?
about it. Yes, I can. I can promise you that.
And on that note,
And I just, not that, I don't want to say we're too busy to think about it, but we have had a lot of meetings and there's been a lot going on. It wasn't purposely not to think about it, but yes, we certainly will make time for that.
okay, you're going to think about that and think about the 5 minutes because I'm going to go over.
Yeah, how about, would you just like the 5 minutes, or do I have to give 5 minutes to everybody?
Well, I think you should give 5 minutes to everybody.
Wait, I got John laughing, that's a good sign.
Well, I came up here to give everybody a sense of humor because of the new year.
But I understand, I understand what you're saying.
Okay. On that note, I am going to ask the town manager for an update. Have you had the opportunity to look at any property?
No, I haven't.
Okay. And I'm asking the questions that are part of the agreement that you have.
Yep.
And I think you're doing a really good job.
Well, thank you.
So no offense taken, I hope. And I want to wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and we would love to have you come to Plainville. And Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas to you, thank
See you all next year.
Yes, unless you're gonna be here Thursday night, we do have a special meeting Thursday night.
God willing.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone else that wishes to? Yes, Ms. Buchanan.
Good evening, Council. Rachel Buchanan, 134 Broad Street. I was just sitting here this evening thinking and had an idea. I love the social media, and it's been really great with the Manager's Minute. And I see that it's encouraged a lot of engagement and has also helped subside things on Plainville Talks. And thought with going into the new year, perhaps with our signage out on the road, this would be a really great opportunity to do a are you following the pages, and put it out on the main drag, and then we can all go in and promote it from our personal pages in town, our group pages, and we'll actually have a full year to manage the data and see how we can multiply it, especially with the Board of Ed coming online now as well. And then we can all piggyback off everybody, the algorithms, and really drive this, because I think it's really exceptional and fun and upbeat and great, short, quick hits to spread information. And a new year is always a great opportunity to do this. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, is there anyone else that wishes to address the council this evening? All right. Seeing no one, we will close public comments. We do have old business. We are not going to be making any, having any discussion or taking any action tonight on old business, so we can move right to new business, item 11. Does anyone care to make a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Councilwoman Christopher?
motion to A, increase the annual additional trash container rental fee to $135, and B, increase the annual additional recycling container rental fee to $50.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any comments or questions? And just we word it rental fee, so technically they're renting,
Yeah.
they're not really
meaning,
purchasing it, they're renting it.
Right, the additional.
Okay.
Right, and so, we expect to get that back should they move or.
Okay.
things like that.
And that's the idea, is if you
Yeah.
can, you get them back when they don't need them anymore. Okay,
Mr. Chairman?
yes.
Can I make a request that we do a manager's minute about this, and it's very clear
Oh,
about what people are being charged for,
sure.
so people aren't screaming that now they have to pay for a garbage can?
No, right, exactly, yeah. It's those requesting the, right.
Yeah.
That'll, I think, be helpful.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 2.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Gettleman.
motion to waive the bid process and award bid number 2025-16, Plainville Fire Department Radio System Infrastructure Upgrade, Phase 1, to Northeast Communications, Inc., doing business as Norcom CT, Naugatuck, Connecticut, in the amount of $485,447.21, and authorize the total amount of $507,082.88 for Phase 1.
Second.
All right, motion in a couple seconds. Any comments or questions? I know we've talked about this for a couple meetings. Anything else we need to know? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilwoman Tompkins.
motion to approve the tax refunds is listed on the addendum.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions on the tax refunds? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Other discussions of interest? Anything?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I would just like to point out that we had the holiday spectacular this past Thursday night. And there's quite a few departments and people that need to be thanked. Andy, Assistant Town Manager, I don't think this would have gotten put together without you. Councilwoman Christopher, you lost sleep over this. Mr. Helming and the PHS Chamber Choir, the Fire Department, Fire Company, D'Amico Construction, Eagle Fence,
Manafort
Brothers, TWM Development, Police Department,
Police Department, Fire Department,
I got that one,
Doreen Corvo.
Doreen Corvo.
How about the guy that played Santa Claus?
Well,
No.
Santa.
Well,
He
that
gets
was
nothing.
Santa.
Santa gets, yeah. Santa's he's all set.
The real Santa.
I didn't know that.
But it was a great event. It
Turned out
was,
well.
and we can expand on it in years to come. So thank everyone that participated and attended.
Thank you. Anyone else with anything, other discussions of interest? Just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, or Happy Holidays for whatever holiday you do celebrate this time of year. I'll say a special Merry Christmas to my grandmother, who's going to be watching this on Wednesday and will be able to critique my performance next Monday when the family gets together for the holidays. But a special Merry Christmas to her because she watches religiously. Otherwise, I hope everyone gets a chance to kind of take it easy, enjoy family or friends, and kind of slow down for a few days. That would be nice. Anyone else with any comments or questions? We do have a matter for executive session tonight. We don't anticipate coming back out to vote on anything. We'll be adjourning right after the executive session.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Motion to move into executive session for pending claims.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we'll retire to the back. We'll give everyone about 5 minutes to get back there. Thank you, everyone. Have good holidays.